I think the things that I am most excited about are the critical thinking and the strategy of it. And with my side ventures, with Sabre, NYA, a lot of that is passion fuel focused. So it's based on my interests and stuff like that. So I tried to create a platform for that. But with this, it's like the core of design or the core of self almost, with just strategic thinking and team building exercises. Not exercises, but you know.
Yep. You know, I've always thought that if you want to progress faster, there's really two ways. And especially for a creative, to me, it's read more than the other people in your cohort and do side projects to either test out what you're not doing during the day, or to just like really recharge your batteries with something that is like, you know, whether you do it for like freelance for money or whatever, it's more about the passion for it versus like the commercialization for it, right? Like just do it because you want, you know, do it because you want to, because sometimes, you know, you have clients come in the door super interesting, and then there's other times where it's like, oh, this is work, you know, this is a job, and then that kind of side project is that thing you're always looking forward to. I don't know, I feel like that's what progresses you faster.
Yeah, I think that really drove me in college. It's not really as present now because the thing that was like bugging me or like in the back of my head with college is, okay, I'm doing all this busy work, I'm not getting paid for it. It's all like portfolio boosting stuff or like chipping my tooth in, I don't know, brand identity or something. So I use my side projects as an escape. Now it's almost like just like a circle or like, I don't know, like a clock. Like it doesn't really, like I don't seek oasis in Sabre or NYA. It's almost like I'm learning things on my day job to apply it to NYA or with Sabre. And that's what excites me now, is how I can use the things I'm learning here and apply it to my personal projects.
That's great. I love how you frame that as it's more of a circle. It's not an escape. I think that's great, right? Because sometimes we do end up in roles where you do need an escape. And so it's great when you don't have that feeling, right? Like this is all good. Like I'm kind of filling up my cup in all aspects. That's kind of the ideal state, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I'm extremely grateful to Native of just showing I don't know, patience with me as I like get in the game, and also showing interest in me. Also, like with the side projects, I had no internship, so that was really like the bulk of my work from college. Past like leaving college was the magazine and the sports brand and everything that falls in between there. So yes. I'm extremely thankful to have that circle of learning, growing, expanding. So yeah.
Before you started at Native, you probably had some ideas of what the role would look like, what your day-to-day would look like. How is it different than what you expected?
How is it different? I would say that I expected, I don't know. Expectation is an easy way to get your heart broken or like to like fall short of it. So I tried not to have any expectations going into the industry. I knew that I would flourish if given the opportunity. But it's a lot like school. Like I'm learning a lot, and it's challenging. And I'm glad that at Native they have a good balance of encouragement, but also not holding your hand. We're not going to coddle you. It's just like, just do it, get it done. If it's done, it's good work. Move on. Pat on the back. You know, your toots at the end of the week. But yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, it's. I remember when I was in a similar position to you right now, which is it's just learning not only how to do your craft, but it's just like the professionalism that comes with it, which is like the pace, the interactions with your team. Um, Sometimes it's just like sitting in a chair for 8 hours. Like that's a learning curve, right? I remember that. Like I
Yeah,
can't sit there for 8 hours, just staying locked in and focused. Like, it all takes time and practice to get there. Like you got the tools, but you just got to put it all together, right?
exactly. And that's what I think, um, like the things around the job were the learning curves, not necessarily the tools that I would be using. There are some things that I didn't know, like Figma or like ways to, I don't know, export or like simple things that help the process. But the what would you call it? Time management or the stuff around
The soft skills.
working a
Yeah.
9 to 5. Exactly. Those are the things that I had to like, okay, it's corporate now, corporate Andre. Video.
Yeah. Everybody does. Everybody goes through that phase. It's natural. You can't come out of school uh, with it. You're just not prepared for it, right? I mean, internships try, and that helps. It's just part of it. And, the key part is to know that that's the case and just make progress on it, and then make sure that the other strengths are as strong as they can be, right? And be surrounded by
Exactly.
people who can help show you that stuff. It's like you said, it's like know what the expectations are, learn from others. To me, it's always really important to be surrounded by like good mentors who actually care that you're progressing, and that's more valuable than anything else. Everybody coming out of school should be looking for paid education, not just paycheck.
Yeah. And like that's so good. Wow. You should put that in a like I don't know, paid education. Wow. Um yeah, I'm super extremely grateful to the mentors that have found their way in like my little native hub, yourself, Shelby, Christian, all been great. And I remember you said at the last team status of like getting into the door or like establishing the relationship and then getting that first minor or even major dub so that you show your value and then you have more time to, I wouldn't say slip up, but just you have more wiggle room in that regard of, okay, I'm getting all my work done. I'm getting in more consistent time schedule. Um, Today's been a lot. Can I have tomorrow off or something like that? Like you have to get the first dub. You have to show your value, show you all your traits, even if you're in a role that you know that you can outgrow. So that's why I've been
Yeah,
keeping in
totally.
the back of my head. Like the
Yeah.
title doesn't, you know, it's not stamped on.
If you were talking to somebody who you maybe went to school with or one of your friends in the industry, and they were at a different shop, um, how would you explain native to them? How would you help them? How would you like let's say they had interest in working here? What would you say is like, hey, this is what this team is like?
The first word that I use to describe native is fast. I remember the first kickoff I was in, within a week, I was in client briefs and talking with, or not talking with, but in the room as the discussion is being had. So fast. If you want something that's slow pace, like you said, like the first job you mentioned, it's not that. If you want some place that is welcoming, I think a place that's down to earth or very self-aware. I think native is extremely self-aware, and that's important. Um, you don't want to be working for someone who thinks that they're doing something that they're not doing. And one thing I see is that we stand on everything that we say that we are. And I really appreciate that. It helps me to stand on things that I want to stand on personally and professionally, which is extremely important. So those are two things: very fast, um, little to no fluff, and yeah, very down to earth, self-aware.
Where do you think some of those attributes come from? Like, why do you think we're fast? Why aren't we fluffy? Why aren't we more ego?
I think your personality bleeds into the rest of the company. And from the conversations we've had together, I like the first week when we were in the one-on-one, the first Friday that you have when you start, I knew as soon as then I was like, oh, this guy is my type of guy. He's he's
Oh, just
pretty
because we
smart.
talked about basketball?
No, because it put in perspective that things are possible. You can jump off the porch and do things yourself. And you can hold yourself to a higher standard, and people can see and appreciate that and reward you for that. So yes, this establishment is everything that I want to be with my personal things. So why not learn from someone who's been in the game for 7 years and 7 years plus prior to native. So yeah, it's the perfect place for me.